Back with another book tag, and this one's called The Seven Deadly Sins of Reading tag. I'm not sure who created it, but I will find out and probably add it in the description. But it's basically, you answer a question, and each question is basically one of the seven sins, like lust, sloth, gluttony, all that kind of stuff. And to help me, I've got my notepad with questions written down because I probably won't remember, and I'm just going to get started. The first sin is greed. And what's your most expensive book and least expensive book? My most expensive book isn't that. It's not a fiction book. It is an introduction to film studies by Jill Nelms, and it's obviously a film studies book because I study media at uni, and one of the modules is film, introduction to film directors, and so I thought it would be handy to have this to help me with essays and other stuff relating to film. And it's also actually a really interesting book. It just goes through lots of film genres and like different films and like character deconstructions and all this kind of stuff. Yeah, it's actually a really interesting book. I think it cost me about £20 something on Amazon, so this would definitely be my most expensive purchase. But I've got a second. There is one that's a runner-up in the most expensive books, and it is This Beast, Inheritance by Christopher Paolini. This is the final and fourth book in the series. I think it's the last book. But my god, it is absolutely huge. I don't even know when I'll get to this, because it must be at least nearly 700 pages long. I'm pretty sure it's longer than the last Harry Potter book. I'm not sure, but I can't remember how much this cost. I think it was like £9 something, but I'm pretty sure it was pretty expensive. It was a pre-order. And the RIP price is $18.99, and I got it for like, it was at least £9 or £10 something on Amazon, plus postage, so it would have added up to quite a bit. But yeah, so they're probably my two most expensive books. The next question is, just hang on, bear with me 1 second. The next question is, your least expensive book, and this one is called Ghoul Trouble, and it is a Buffy the Vampire Slayer book. It's like a original novel that's based on the show, which is one of my favourite TV shows of all time, and I got it at a charity shop and it was 75p. But yeah, it's my least expensive. Charity shops can be pretty cheap when they want to be, and you should never not go in charity shops, because you can always pick up some really good stuff for cheap prices. And it's got kind of a, when I got it, it had like a rip in the front cover, and I think that's maybe why it was 75p, but that's my least expensive. I can't remember buying a book for any less than that, unless buying, because I bought a few books on my Kindle that didn't cost anything, and I don't think that counts, but like, this is actually more than nothing. It was 75p, but this is the least expensive I can at least remember. Next question is, Wrath, which author do you have a love-hate relationship with? And my answer to this is two authors that I can think of, and the first one is the author who wrote these, Cassandra Clare, and out of her work I've only read these two books and the first Infernal Devices book, and I know lots of people are going to hate me and think I'm insane or something because I read the first book, and the main girl character, Clara, she got on my nerves so much. I couldn't like the book just because of her. I'm sorry, but she was just so damn annoying. I wanted to punch her in the face. It's like literally every time she thought something or said something. I'm really sorry, but it's just her and other people in it that make it really annoying, and even though I admit that parts of it are really well done and there are some impressive scenes written, I don't doubt the author's writing ability. It's just, I can't stand that character. But yeah, so, but then again, like I said, the love part of the relationship with the author is because I do like her writing style, and I do like the way she creates other characters such as Maya and Magnus Bane. I really love Magnus Bane. He's a really cool character. And I really like Luke as well. Yeah, Luke, Simon, Maya. and Magnus. They're probably my favourite characters, but I just can't stand the main one. I don't know why. I don't think I've ever been annoyed by a character as much as her, but anyway, that's that one. And the other author I chose as love-hate relationship is L.J. Smith. Now these two books have very different experiences reading these books. The first one I read was The Forbidden Game. I read it 2 years ago whilst on holiday, and because it's like a trilogy, but all the books are like stacked into one bind collection, and I was picking it up and I just intended to read like the first story, because they're only about 200 pages long, but obviously it's about all the stories in a bind-up are 750 pages, and I got through that when I was on holiday for I think like 2 weeks, and yeah, I just thought the story was amazing and it was just really interesting and I really enjoyed it, and I thought that anything else I read by her I'd really enjoy. But I read this book, Night World, Volume 1, and I just couldn't connect to any of the characters in the stories. I thought that I would really enjoy it since I loved The Forbidden Game, but I couldn't get into it. Like, I've made myself finish it, but I just couldn't find myself getting into any of the stories. And, like, the bit I really didn't like was the fact that characters met each other in, like, the next chapter they were claiming to be each other's soulmates and claiming to be in love with each other, and you don't fall in love with anyone that quick. Well, I don't think you do anyway, but I just find it a bit ridiculous how people thought they were soulmates after knowing each other for, like, a day. But that's just me, and maybe other people feel differently, so... And also, I read the first Vampire Diaries book, and because I'm a big fan of the TV show, I read it. I read the first story, well, I read most of it, but I couldn't get through the last, like, about 50 odd pages, because, again, I just found that a bit boring, and it was nothing at all like the TV show. The characters are completely different. Some of the characters in the TV show don't exist in the book, and I couldn't finish it. I couldn't read the second story because it's like a bind-up of the first two books that were published like in 1991 or something. So yeah, L.J. Smith. I am planning on reading her Secret Circle books. I own the first two, and I also own Dark Visions. So I'm going to give her another try, and hopefully I'll be able to like the Secret Circle. The next question is, Gluttony. What book have you devoured over and over again with no shame whatsoever? I can answer this one really easily because it is Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire by J.K. Rowling. Pretty much every Harry Potter book, but this is the one that I can remember rereading the most. I just love the story. Even though I've read it lots of times, it never fails to amaze me how good the writing is and just how amazing the story is. I think this is definitely my favourite book of the series. I love the cover, the front and the back cover, and yeah, it's just the book's like tired and coming apart because I've read it so many times, but definitely this one in particular. And also Uglies by Scott Westfeld. That's another book that I can't remember how many times I've read it. Out of the whole series, I think I've read that one the most. I haven't reread the last two books, but I'm gonna have to reread it all again because again, it's one of my favourite it's one of my favourite dystopian book series, apart from the last one, which was sort of a letdown, but I think it's underrated and I think it doesn't get as much as like appreciation as it needs because it's really, really good. So that's that one. The next one is Sloth. What books have you neglected due to laziness? This one, when I've seen other people's tags for this, I've seen a lot of people mentioning this one, A Game of Thrones by George R.R. Martin, and I think most people said it's because it's like huge and the writing style is like, I don't know if you can see it, but it's probably tiny writing, and it must be at least pushing on 7 pages or something, or at least 800 and something. I don't know. I don't know if I want to start it because I've heard that there's like a lot of character viewpoints, like there's loads of different characters narrating each chapter and it could get confusing, and because I've never watched the TV show, I don't know if I'd be able to follow it. I just picked it up because I found it in a charity shop for 50p, and that completely contradicts my other sin when I said the least expensive book was Buffy, but this one was 50p in a charity shop. I've completely messed up that question before, but yeah. So this one and the Buffy book were the least expensive, but this was definitely the least expensive. I just didn't remember it until now. But yeah, but I think I will get around to reading it one day. I don't know when, but yeah, I've heard that people like start it and then they read it really fast, even though it's huge. So I don't know what will happen when I eventually start it, but hopefully it will be good. And the other one is one I've mentioned before, Inheritance by Christopher Pauline. And the reason I haven't started this is, again, because it's an absolute beast, and I don't know how long it would take me to get through it. It's just when there's so massive and you're like, oh, that'll take me forever to get through. So you just sort of put it down and read books that aren't as long. But yeah, so them two, Game of Thrones and Inheritance, are my two books for that. The next question is, what book do you talk most about in order to sound like a very intellectual reader? I don't think I talk about any books like that. If I talk to someone about books, I'd mainly just say like, just say which ones I like and ask what kind of books they like. I don't really do it to sound intelligent because I'd probably sound like a bloody pretentious weird idiot. I don't think I'd be good at doing that anyway, so there aren't any that I'd talk about. So then the next question is list. What attributes do you find most attractive in male/female characters? With saying this, I don't mind whether the female or male. I like it when they're both strong, brave, like kick-ass, loyal, fierce, caring. Like they care about people. They're not just heartless people who don't give a crap about anyone but themselves. Like the kick-ass, they know how to stand up for themselves. Basically every character who's the opposite of Belle Swan. That's pretty much it. Like my ideal characters for describing this probably be Hermione from Harry Potter and Katniss from the Hunger Games. Like they're my ideal characters, like the great role models, because they're both like fierce and independent, and they're both really intelligent as well, especially Hermione. So yep, but I don't mind if the guy character is hot. That helps me imagine them better. But yeah, that's pretty much all the attributes basically go for male and female characters. So that's that. And the final one is envy. What books would you like most to receive as a gift? For this I put the Harry Potter box set. I own all the Harry Potter books, but some of them I've had for years and they've got like tatty and messed up over the years. So I would really love someone to buy me the box set with all the new covers. That looks really pretty, and I feel like as a huge Harry Potter fan, or a Potterhead, I'd really love to own the box set, so I'd be happy if anyone got me that. And also, any book on my wishlist on Goodreads or Amazon, or any wishlist that I have, if anyone got me a book off there that I really wanted, then that would also make me extremely happy. So yeah, any book off my wishlist or the Harry Potter box set. And that is the tag. If anyone has like anything to say to me, like how I could improve it or how I can make these videos better, then please put it down in the comments below. I would really love room for improvement, since I've just started booktubing and I don't have the access to a proper webcam or editing program, so that's why it's not edited. But yeah, hopefully I'm trying to get something that I can record and edit properly on. So if anyone if anyone even watches this, which I hope people do, but I know that I'm not the most loudest out there person when it comes to making videos, but if you've stuck with me watching this for this long, then hopefully you'll like me. So I'll say goodbye and feel free to do the tag. Bye.